All right, in this video, we're going to talk about saving. I've already said that we can earn money, we can spend money, but we also thirdly need to save money. Oh, and as a side note, you're going to notice that going through this course, I'm a big fan of dialogue and of teaching verbally. So I know a lot of professors, a lot of instructors will use PowerPoint presentations, and those have a really good place and they're really helpful. But I like trying to kind of look at you through this virtual camera and interact with you as best I can in this format. And so a lot of my teaching will be kind of this format of me describing these things to you and trying to interact with you in this format. So just letting you know kind of what the future lessons are going to look like. All right, so back to saving. Saving allows us to prepare for both the expected and the unexpected, because there are going to be things that come. Some of them you can plan for, and some of them you can't. And we want to save money so that we're prepared for those things as they arise. So one of the things you might want to save for is a vacation. You may want to go overnight somewhere with your family, and that costs money to get a hotel or to pay for gas or whatever. And so what you can do every time you get a check is you can push a portion of that over into a savings account. Now I'll be talking more about savings accounts in our week to talk about bank accounts. But having a separate place where you can sock that money aside will help you to plan for that vacation, for that overnight getaway. If you go on an overnight getaway and just put it on your credit card, that could start digging a hole for you that's hard to get out of. That's the way a lot of people in our country live. They will go ahead and swipe something on a credit card and figure out how to pay for it later. And that is not proactive, wise money management. You're going to see a funny video later in the course on that mindset of spending first and figuring out how to pay for it later. We want to figure out what we want to spend for that we don't have money for today and start setting aside money out of every check that you get, every time you're paid. You could shoot for taking 10%. That may sound like a lot, but trying to take 10% of everything that you earn and putting it over into a savings bucket, and then let that bucket grow. So there are going to be things like a vacation that you want to set aside money for, things like a vehicle. You want to set aside money in advance for those things because they may be bigger ticket items. But you also want to prepare for the unexpected. So if you already have a car, things on that car are going to break. You're going to have brakes that need to be replaced. You're going to have alternators that suddenly go out. You're going to have things that you couldn't see coming that you got to be ready for. And so part of saving money is to build up a cushion so that when those things happen, you've got something to pull from. You've got something to draw from there. And so that's what savings helps to act. It's a buffer. It's a cushion. It's a personal bank, okay? So instead of coming to us and borrowing money because you don't have enough to take care of those brake pads that need to be replaced, we want you to borrow from yourself. If your name is Joe Smith, we want you to create a Joe Smith bank. That's what your savings account essentially is. And you can pull out money to pay for those brake pads, and you can pay yourself back. That's a wonderful way to manage money rather than coming to us and having to pay an interest rate in order to have money that you don't have. We're going to talk more about borrowing money. We know that many people borrow money, and I'm going to try to show you how to borrow wisely down the road. But if you can save in advance, it will keep you from having to borrow at the same rate. Now, we'll talk later about where you can park that money when you save it, but I just want to prepare you with that mindset of putting aside money for what you want to buy down the road and for what you don't even know you may need down the road as well. All right?